Have you ever scrolled through Instagram and seen those stunning purebred cats with their perfect features, exotic looks, and thousands of followers, and thought, should I get one of those? Or maybe you've been to a shelter and looked at the rows of regular-looking tabby cats and wondered, are these somehow less valuable than a cat from a breeder? Here's what's happening right now in the cat world. Purebred cats are becoming status symbols. People are paying thousands of dollars for specific breeds because they look impressive on social media, because they want a cat with predictable traits, or because they've fallen in love with a particular breed's appearance. Meanwhile, shelters are overflowing with healthy, loving, mixed-breed cats who wait months or even years for homes, and some never find them at all. Today, we're going to have a completely honest conversation about purebred versus mixed-breed cats. We're going to talk about genetics, health, personality, costs, and ethics. And I'm not going to sugarcoat anything because this topic deserves honesty. If you want the real truth about what you're actually getting when you choose a purebred or a mixed breed cat, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's start with the basics. What actually makes a cat purebred? A purebred cat is a cat whose parents, grandparents, and ancestors for multiple generations are all the same breed, documented through pedigree papers. Organizations like the Cat Fanciers Association or the International Cat Association maintain breed standards, which are detailed descriptions of exactly how each breed should look, from ear shape to tail length to coat color. Breeders who want to produce show-quality cats aim to match these standards as closely as possible. They carefully select breeding pairs based on appearance, lineage, and sometimes temperament, trying to produce kittens that exemplify the ideal version of that breed. And when breeding is done responsibly, with health, testing, genetic screening, proper socialization, and genuine care for the cat's welfare, it can produce healthy, well-adjusted cats who happen to have predictable physical traits. But here's what they don't tell you in the glossy breeder websites. Achieving those specific, standardized looks often comes at a serious cost to the cat's health. Let me explain how this works. To create and maintain distinct breeds, breeders use a limited gene pool. They're breeding related cats to each other, sometimes quite closely related, to establish and preserve specific traits. This is called line breeding, and it's how you get cats who all look remarkably similar within a breed. But here's the problem with limited gene pools. You don't just preserve the desirable traits. You also concentrate genetic diseases and health problems. Let's talk about specific breeds and the health issues that plague them, because this is where things get really uncomfortable. Persian cats, one of the most popular, purebred cats have been bred for increasingly flat faces. This brachycephalic structure, where the skull is shortened and the face is flattened, looks distinctive and appeals to many people, but it causes serious health problems. Persian cats often have breathing difficulties because their nasal passages are compressed. They have dental problems because there's not enough room in their shortened jaws for normal teeth alignment. Their flattened faces prevent normal tear drainage, leading to chronic eye infections and staining. They can have difficulty eating properly. Some Persian cats actually struggle to breathe while they eat. Scottish fold cats, famous for their adorable folded ears, have a genetic mutation that affects cartilage throughout their entire body, not just their ears. Many Scottish folds develop painful arthritis at young ages. Some develop such severe joint problems that they can barely walk. The very trait that makes them recognizable, those folded ears, is linked to a painful degenerative condition. In fact, breeding Scottish folds is actually illegal in some countries because it's considered cruel to deliberately produce cats who will likely suffer from painful joint disease. Munchkin cats, with their characteristically short legs, have been bred for a form of dwarfism. While some Munchkins live normal lives, others develop spinal problems, joint issues, and mobility limitations. They're essentially bred to have a skeletal abnormality that we find cute. Maine Coons, one of the largest domestic cat breeds, have high rates of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, a heart condition that can cause sudden death. They're also prone to hip dysplasia and spinal muscular atrophy. Siamese cats often develop progressive retinal atrophy, which can lead to blindness. They also have higher rates of asthma and certain cancers than mixed-breed cats. Bengal cats, bred from wild Asian leopard cats crossed with domestic cats, can have serious behavioral issues. Some Bengals are hyperactive to the point of being destructive, spray mark excessively, and show aggression that's difficult to manage in a home environment. Not all Bengals have these issues, but they occur at much higher rates than in mixed-breed cats. Sphinx cats, the hairless breed, require extensive grooming despite having no fur. Their skin produces oils that would normally be absorbed by fur, so they need regular baths. They're prone to skin conditions, ear infections, and they get cold easily, requiring climate-controlled environments. And this is just a small sample. Almost every established cat breed has known genetic health problems that occur at higher rates than in the general cat population. Now, I need to be clear, not every purebred cat will have health problems. Responsible breeders do health testing, screen for genetic conditions, and make breeding decisions that prioritize health over appearance. These breeders exist, and they're doing important work, but here's the reality. Even the most responsible breeding can't completely eliminate these health risks when you're working with a limited gene pool. The genetic diversity just isn't there. Compare this to mixed breed cats, often called domestic shorthairs or domestic longhairs, or less formally, moggies. Mixed breed cats have diverse genetic backgrounds. They're the result of random breeding over many generations, which means they have hybrid vigor. This is a real biological phenomenon where genetic diversity leads to better overall health, stronger immune systems, and fewer genetic diseases. Studies have shown that mixed-breed cats, on average, live longer than purebred cats. They have fewer hereditary health conditions. They're less likely to need expensive veterinary care for breed-specific problems. And here's something that surprises people. Mixed-breed cats have just as much personality variation as purebred cats. You can find friendly mixed-breed cats, playful mixed-breed cats, calm mixed-breed cats, talkative mixed-breed cats. Every personality type exists in mixed breeds, just as it does in purebreds. The difference is, you can't predict personality based on breed standards with mixed breeds. But honestly, you can't reliably predict it with purebreds either, despite what breeders claim. Let's talk about the personality myth, because this is one of the biggest reasons people give for wanting a specific breed. Breeders will tell you that if you want an affectionate cat, get a ragdoll. If you want a playful cat, get an Abyssinian. If you want a quiet cat, get a Russian blue. They present breed as a guarantee of personality. But here's what research actually shows. While there are some breed tendencies, individual variation within breeds is enormous. You can absolutely find a standoffish ragdoll or a hyperactive Russian blue or a quiet Abyssinian. Personality is influenced by genetics, yes, but also by early socialization, life experiences, individual temperament, and sometimes just random chance. When you adopt from a shelter or rescue, you can actually assess personality more accurately than when you buy a kitten from a breeder. An adult cat in a foster home or shelter has an established personality that you can observe. That friendly 3-year-old cat who rubs against the kennel and purrs when you pet them, that's who they are. You're not guessing about who they might become. With a purebred kitten, you're paying a premium for predictability you don't actually get. You're hoping that breed tendencies will apply to your specific cat, but there are no guarantees. Now let's talk about cost, because this is significant. A mixed breed cat from a shelter typically costs between $50 and $200 in adoption fees. This usually includes spay or neuter surgery, initial vaccinations, deworming, and often microchipping. You're essentially getting several $100s worth of veterinary care included in a very reasonable adoption fee. A purebred cat from a breeder costs anywhere from $500 to $5,000 depending on breed, pedigree, and whether the cat is show quality or pet quality, and that's just the purchase price. Purebred cats often have higher lifetime veterinary costs because of breed-specific health issues. Persian cats need regular professional grooming and frequent vet visits for eye and respiratory problems. Scottish Folds may need pain management for arthritis. Maine Coons need cardiac monitoring. These aren't occasional expenses, they're ongoing costs that can add up to thousands of dollars over the cat's lifetime. And here's something that makes me incredibly frustrated. Some breeders are now charging extra for genetic health testing, as if ensuring the cat isn't carrying serious genetic diseases should be optional. If you're buying from a breeder who doesn't do comprehensive health testing on breeding cats, you're essentially gambling with your future cat's health and your own finances. Let's talk about the ethical dimension of this, because we can't have an honest conversation about purebred versus mixed breed without addressing it. Right now, in the United States alone, approximately 3.2 million cats enter shelters every year. About 430,000 of those cats are euthanized because there aren't enough homes. While this is happening, breeders are producing thousands of additional cats to sell for profit. I'm not saying all breeding is inherently unethical. Responsible preservation breeders who work to maintain rare breeds, prioritize health, screen adopters carefully, and take back any cat they produce if the owner can't keep it, are doing something defensible. But the reality is that many people breeding cats are doing it primarily for profit, not for breed preservation or improvement. They're breeding because purebred kittens sell for good money, and they're contributing to a situation where healthy cats die in shelters because not enough people are adopting. There's also the issue of trends and fads in cat breeding. Right now, exotic-looking breeds like Bengals, Savannahs, and Sphynx cats are extremely popular. Breeders are producing these cats in large numbers to meet demand. But here's what happens. People buy these exotic cats without understanding their care needs or behavioral challenges. Bengals are high energy and can be destructive. Savannahs can be aggressive and difficult to manage. Sphynx cats need intensive grooming and climate control. When owners can't handle these challenges, many of these expensive purebred cats end up in shelters or breed-specific rescues. I've seen Bengals surrendered because they destroyed the owner's home. I've seen Sphynx cats abandoned because the owner didn't realize how much care they require. These cats were bred deliberately, sold for thousands of dollars, and then dumped when they didn't meet the owner's unrealistic expectations. Meanwhile, wonderful mixed breed cats sit in shelters waiting for homes that never come because people are convinced they need a specific breed. Let me share something that might be uncomfortable to hear. If you want a cat primarily as a status symbol, as an Instagram accessory, or because a specific breed is trendy right now, please reconsider getting a cat at all. Cats are living beings who will be part of your life for 15 to 20 years. They deserve to be chosen because you're committed to caring for them, not because they look good in photos. Now, I want to be fair and talk about legitimate reasons someone might choose a purebred cat, because they do exist. If you have severe allergies and need a cat that produces fewer allergens, certain breeds like Siberians or Balinese might be better choices than random mixed breeds, though no cat is truly hypoallergenic. If you need a cat with a very specific temperament for a specific purpose, like a therapy cat, and you have the expertise to select and work with a breeder who breeds for temperament, a purebred might make sense. If you're deeply knowledgeable about a particular breed, you understand and accept the health risks, you've found an ethical breeder who does extensive health testing, and you're committed to providing specialized care, then choosing a purebred is a conscious, informed decision. But if you just think Persian cats are pretty, or you want a Bengal because they look like miniature leopards, or you saw a Scottish fold on TikTok and thought it was cute, those aren't good enough reasons to support breeding when shelters are full. Here's what I wish more people understood. Mixed breed cats are not lesser than purebred cats. They're not second choice or consolation prizes. Mixed breed cats have just as much capacity for love, just as much personality, just as much value as any purebred. The only difference is They don't have pedigree papers, and they don't conform to arbitrary appearance standards. Some of the most beautiful, intelligent, affectionate cats I've ever known were mixed breeds. The stunning brown tabby with emerald eyes, the fluffy gray cat with perfect white paws, the sleek black cat who thought she was a dog. None of them had pedigrees. All of them were perfect. And here's something breeders won't tell you. Many purebred cats in shelters and rescues are there because they didn't meet breed standards. They had the wrong eye color, the wrong ear shape, the wrong coat pattern. They're genetically identical to their show-quality siblings, but because they don't match arbitrary aesthetic standards, they weren't worth keeping. These cats end up in breed-specific rescues where you can adopt them for a fraction of what you'd pay a breeder. You get a purebred cat if that's what you want, but you're rescuing rather than buying. Let's talk about what responsible looks like on both sides of this equation. If you're determined to get a purebred cat, here's what you absolutely must do. Research the breed's health issues thoroughly. Understand what you're likely to face and whether you can handle it emotionally and financially. Find a breeder who does comprehensive health testing on all breeding cats. This should include genetic testing for breed-specific conditions, not just a basic vet checkup. Visit the breeder in person. See where the cats are kept. Meet the breeding cats. If a breeder won't let you visit, that's a massive red flag. Ask to see health records for the kitten's parents and grandparents. A responsible breeder will have this documentation readily available. Make sure the breeder provides a health guarantee and will take the cat back at any point in its life if you can't keep it. Responsible breeders remain accountable for the lives they create. Expect the breeder to ask you extensive questions about your home, lifestyle, and experience with cats. If a breeder will sell you a kitten without vetting you as a potential owner, they care more about profit than placement. Be prepared to wait. Responsible breeders don't have kittens available constantly. You might be on a waiting list for months or even a year. And understand that you're paying for the breeder's expertise, health testing, and proper kitten raising, not just for a cute kitten. If you're not willing to pay a premium price for premium care, don't buy from a breeder. If you're adopting a mixed breed cat from a shelter or rescue, here's how to do it responsibly. Spend time with cats before choosing. Observe their personalities, their energy levels, their comfort with handling. Ask shelter staff about each cat's background and behavior. They can tell you who's good with kids, who needs to be an only cat, who's shy versus confident. Consider adopting an adult cat rather than a kitten. You'll know exactly what you're getting personality-wise, and adult cats are harder to place. Be honest about your lifestyle and what you can handle. Don't adopt a hyperactive cat if you want a calm companion. Don't adopt a shy cat if you have young kids. Make sure the cat is spayed or neutered, vaccinated, and tested for diseases before going home. Most shelters include this in adoption fees. Follow the shelter's introduction guidelines if you have other pets, and commit to keeping this cat for life through moves, life changes, and whatever comes. Adoption is a lifetime commitment. Here's my bottom line on purebred versus mixed breed cats, and I want to be completely clear. From a health perspective, mixed breed cats are objectively better. They have genetic diversity, fewer hereditary health problems, and longer average lifespans. From a personality perspective, there's no meaningful difference. You can find any personality type in mixed breeds, and breed doesn't guarantee temperament in purebreds. From a cost perspective, mixed breeds are dramatically more affordable both in initial cost and lifetime veterinary expenses. From an ethical perspective, adopting from shelters saves lives, while buying from breeders creates more cats when we already have more cats than homes. The only advantage purebred cats have is predictable appearance. If you absolutely must have a cat who looks a specific way, purebred is your only option. But you need to be honest about whether that's worth supporting breeding when cats are dying in shelters. I'm not going to tell you what decision to make. You're an adult. You get to choose what's right for your situation. But I am going to ask you to make an informed choice. Understand what you're supporting with your decision. Understand the health implications. Understand the broader impact on cat welfare. And whatever you decide, commit to giving that cat, whether purebred or mixed breed, the absolute best life you can provide. If this honest conversation about purebred versus mixed breed cats gave you new perspective, make sure you're subscribed to Cat Rules. Our next video is about one-person cats versus family cats, and we're going to reveal why some cats bond with only one person and what that means for multi-person households. Drop a comment and tell me, do you have a purebred cat, a mixed breed, or both? And knowing what you know now, would you make the same choice again? I want to hear your real experiences, good and bad. Until next time, cat lovers, whether your cat has a fancy pedigree or came from a shelter cage, they're equally deserving of love and excellent care. We'll see you in the next video.